Yeah.
That's right.
I was listening to your podcast. Yeah. It's hilarious.
Oh, great.
It's hilarious.
Thank you.
I love all your guys' work. I love Sorry.
Oh, right
I
on.
love
Gotta
Sorry.
love Sorry.
I love all the characters, actually, because they're all
You can have a
unique and
favorite.
quirky.
It's cool.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
My favorite's Sorry, too.
let me have this because my character is
always
invisible.
does
It does
that.
not show up in any cards.
Oh.
It's dotted lines.
You don't have a face.
I know.
As
They have all this
Janet Warfare
great
characters should say Sorry as
animation.
well.
Yeah, they have all
Sounds like
this
an
great. And Ryan's like, "What do you think about this one?" And he's right. It's adorable. Yeah, when you put it up next to the three of them, let's be
We have
honest,
faces,
it's
you don't have a
adorable.
face.
They're larger than life.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
I guess the first question I could ask is, what inspired the concept behind the podcast?
Ryan,
Ryan, where are you?
why don't you come over here?
Ryan, you should be talking about this.
Creator Ryan Copple
Yeah.
could answer that question best.
No. Get a chair.
Right here, right
Stand
here.
up.
We're
There's a
talking to these
spot
kids
for
about
you.
drugs.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We're gonna scare everybody
Here's
straight.
why you should do drugs.
Well, it's good to have a dissenting
Yeah, well, you know.
Hi.
Hello.
Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about your feelings and thoughts on creating the concept of?
Yeah, what inspired the
Never
podcast?
seen the tattoo.
It's not real.
I like that. You should make it real.
Got a fake tattoo on.
It looks really good.
We
Let's
had
do
big
that.
tattoos on all
Okay,
yesterday because of our.
What inspired the podcast? Well, I've been wanting to do something in the podcast space for a while, and obviously, like having worked with Felicia for so long.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of genre content and fun stuff like that. And we had this idea of like, what if we were doing a space adventure, very like comedic style, but we use the audio format as like, they have all these logs that these crew members are keeping.
I love that.
And then we use that as the device, so it makes sense why it's a podcast, and it's a fun way of telling a story. And from there, it was just like, once we kind of knew that, it was like, oh well, we know who we want to have in it. It was really easy to create characters that would really like lead into their strengths, and that was sort of the impetus of Voyage for us all to work together.
So I was very impressed that all your dialogue was improv, especially when you just had a framework and then you did everything improv. What are some of the challenges in this, and what are some of the rewards with doing improv?
Felicia, would you like to speak to being a science officer who has to improvise all her dialogue?
That's such a good AI and slash moderator slash reporting writer. I love improv. I've been doing it since I moved to LA. And the great thing about improv is that everybody's around you makes you look better. So I feel a little privileged in that when you're in a room with these three lunks, you can't just lunks.
It's a compliment, guys.
I like it.
Don't question it, and don't think too hard about it. Just
Yeah.
accept it as a compliment.
You just have to react to what they're giving you, and it's so much fun. The great thing also about it is when I listen to the episodes, I literally don't remember what I said things, and I'm like, wait, I said that? That's hilarious. So it's kind of an ego booster. I know, you're so good.
But she's the one who has to, and the reason I asked you
Yeah.
is because you're the one who has to like spout out stuff that makes it sound like you have
Yeah.
all of this
I know
this
things.
scientific background.
I mean, I
she
do-
does it. She spouts out things, and we're like, I don't know what that
Yeah.
is. It sounds real.
I do sometimes have a crib sheet of just vocabulary, and I'll just look down and I'll pick three things, even if they don't go. It's like a neuroblaster.
I buy it all.
works.
I believe every word you
It really
say.
works.
Yeah.
Warthog.
I set myself up as kind of a idiot, so it makes it real easy for me. I don't like people, and I'm not very smart on it, so it's just so easy. It's so perfect.
Yeah, it just flowed so well. I was just like, wow, this is not scripted. This is amazing. What are the challenges with creating a new world and new creatures without any visuals? What are some of those challenges that you guys had?
I think the fun thing is we're all probably using our own weird imaginations. We have a little bit of a description of what the creatures are going to look like, or we think they might look like. But then it just really goes to kind of our talented guest stars who come in, who bring those characters to life. So we're just really reacting off of what they're bringing to the character, I think, and letting us sort of imagine it. And then, obviously we have a whole team of post-production that puts together sort of the art of what this character actually looks like. And I think that's, one real fun thing about this show is that, it's all created. The improv isn't just from us; it's also from everybody involved who's doing the show.
It did a good job. Painted a good picture. Blow up
you.
people and blow up buildings. Good.
We're gonna try to commit a little less, planticide in
Yeah.
the future. But probably won't
We'll
work.
see.
Not intentional.
Guarantee you that will.
Always the best of the intentions.
Yes.
But just
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
wacky
Trail of
wrong.
wreckage.
Yeah. So each of your characters are very quirky and unique. I love all your characters. What inspired each of you when crafting your character? you said?
That's a Janet question.
That is definitely
was
Janet.
excited to. I very much enjoy doing weird automated voices. I love that we're living in a world now where you very often get an automated voice, and the fact that they are trying to sound more and more casual, and they haven't achieved that yet. So for sure, like just the initial pilot episode, getting the opportunity to kind of like make fun of that, like, hey, I'm just a friend. I'm here to help you out. Like that sort of like infuriating thing that we get now when you're trying to reach a real human. I try to lean into like what's infuriating about that.
Yeah.
And it's also fun to be like kind of mean, I guess, which my character, well, I guess we all kind of get to be mean in our own way.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what's special about the
Yeah,
show. We can all be jerks. There's room for all of us to be jerks.
We don't respect each other.
In our own special way.
I seriously thought it was a playoff of Siri. I'm like, they're totally making fun of Siri here. I love this.
Alexa,
Sorry.
Siri, you name it. Yeah.
When
Siri
we were
is
recording, we
Sorry,
actually
Siri.
called her
Sorry.
Siri multiple times. At least I did, because
Yeah.
I use Siri a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when
you're
I'm
like, Siri, you're
improvising,
like, no.
I
Yep.
accidentally have to correct myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you called it.
Yeah. I was like, Dad, Siri, sorry. Yeah. How do you guys balance out the action elements and the satirical elements in it, in the podcast? Like, how do you?
I mean, I think that comes a lot of just when we give them the outlines. Like, they know the story they have to tell, so there's like the framework.
Uh-huh.
I think with that in place, then it's really easy just to be like, okay, well, then this is where the comedy would come in those interchanges with each other, and then whatever they want to bring to it as well. Like, it's
Yeah.
very open in terms of like how they get to point A to point B.
But Ryan does an amazing job in our outlines of kind of helping us through whatever scene we're in. He helps us identify what our objective is, or
Yeah.
kind of what we're coming into it with as a character. So we, it's not like suddenly in a scene we're like, oh, I don't know how to feel about this, or
Right.
what my intentions are. He's really thorough about that. So we kind of know that going in.
Yeah, and again, there's sort of an element too of like, and it's similar to green screen. Like if you were watching them shoot a movie where there's a giant ape in it, you wouldn't see the giant ape. The guy would just be like, "What's that? Uber, no!" And you see that later. A lot of that stuff is for us. We don't hear what that explosion sounds like or what that laser beam sounds like until the audience hears it on Tuesday when the show comes out.
Yep.
Where they kind of went with that with the sound design. So.
Are there any funny bloopers you guys are willing to share? Any pranks, anything like that?
Pranks.
Pranks, bloopers.
Not yet in the break.
Who's gonna be the Clooney of the group?
Whoopee cushion. I would say there are probably a lot of bloops.
A lot of bloopers.
There's probably a lot of blues.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff from Felicia especially that doesn't quite make it in. Well,
Oh,
like,
what did you do?
Example?
like murdering the unicorns.
Please do
That
tell.
goes-
Murdering the
17,
unicorn.
Yeah. Because her character's like, I think the most like verbose.
You have to cut around me a
There's a
lot.
lot
I get
of-
it.
a
I
lot
get
of
it. It's
cutting
fine.
things out.
I get it. You make me look good. I'm like, I don't remember that or any of the other stuff I think I might have done. I don't even remember the unicorn.
I don't, you know what that is? I don't remember, because I've listened to the episodes, and I don't remember almost
Yeah.
any of
I
it.
don't either.
Neither do I.
Like, and maybe it's because we did
It's so
like
fun.
so many, and how many did we do a day? Like 4?
3
It makes me like myself
We did like 3
more.
or 4,
I'm
so
like,
you never like
I'm not as
remember
intelligent
anything.
as I
All
think.
It's
the
like you
words
do it in a
together.
fugue
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
You do it and you
Fugue
can
state,
sort
yes.
of pretend you're
Yes.
listening to someone else. You don't have to
Exactly.
think about
Yeah.
yourself.
I
You're
remember
like,
everything.
hey, that person.
I remember absolutely everything that we did.
Hot dog. Yeah.
Oh my
Go
God.
for it. That's so,
Yeah, I'm trying to think what other bloopers is like funny moments. I mean, like,
Well, hopefully we can release something. That would be fun if we
Yeah,
put
That'd be
that
good
on
if they're a
Blooper
blooper.
Reel.
I mean, a
People
lot
love
of times
blooper.
he's like, Ryan has to come in. It's like, okay, remember the story? Because
Yeah. We'll get way off
Remember what you guys are
way off
doing
track.
here?
Yeah.
Or we'll
Way off
start,
track or
we'll
something
start
like-
laughing at each
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
microphone.
Yeah.
So then
Or
it's
just
like
completely
we're
changing the
someone
story.
else.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's a
I found
fun
out this
tangent.
Earth. I found it. What? Okay, stop again.
I'm sure I did that a lot.
yeah. You have quite a few nods to sci-fi. I love the red shirt nod. I laughed really hard when I saw that because I was like, oh my God. What other shows or pop culture inspired the podcast?
There's a lot of 80s references from this
Yes.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of 80s movies and like boy band references. And like she would
Hilary
just
Duff.
pull them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Well, built into my character is supposedly, while she is lacking a lot of very vital information that could probably save them and possibly save planets in a better way, she doesn't have any of that, but she has like weird cursory knowledge, or in some cases in-depth knowledge of weird Earth pop culture stuff. So we like to trot that out when possible.
Yeah, but there's a lot of the sci-fi shows and homages, like episode where Felicia gets her little pet Mac, like obviously intended to be somewhat alien-esque, where it's like a little egg, a little thing comes out, but it's kind of a gremlin.
And that was
Tribble.
Janet doing that voice, and I had to call him. I was like, "Who was doing that voice?" Because I literally didn't remember that you were doing that voice.
I forgot too.
It was such a
you were doing
and
your
I
own
was like,
voice.
I have a whole new career in creature voices.
Janet,
I'm so excited.
Janet,
I thought it was just
would you
filling
give us
in.
Give,
So
us a,
good.
give us a taste, would you?
I mean, listen, I don't.
Give us a
Come
She didn't
on,
remember.
Janet.
Like
Yeah.
I don't. Even,
Give us
just
a
like-
little.
There it is.
There it is. There it is.
Nailed it.
her.
But then at the end, when Mac turns into a full like demonic huge monster, Colton took over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, well done.
Oh, he forgot.
Now, Colton,
I
is there
remember.
a way we could get a little sample of that creature's voice?
I don't remember.
It was terrifying.
Rawr.
No!
It was just
Whoa.
like that. Yeah.
I was
And we
gonna-
got to give a shout out to Voyager.
Oh, yeah.
Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
Clearly
Yeah.
has,
Clearly.
Come on.
A lot of
connection to
homages.
ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the red shirt. I was like, there has to be Star Trek. There has to be. Cocoa Krispies. I know you like Cocoa Krispies.
Damn straight.
Is there anything else any of your other characters would have liked to have on the first planet?
My mother's approval.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Good luck with that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think Steve would probably like more condiments. He's food based.
Yeah.
Food-based.
The food based
Species.
So yeah, I think he's bored by the food choices. So.
Peach salsa would probably make his day.
Oh my God, yeah,
Peach
it would
salsa.
make my day.
Yeah. I think Sari would want gladiator games. She definitely would want to see different creatures kill each other and pretend to study it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's all the questions I have. I know it's a
Awesome.
very
No,
short
it's great to
interview.
hear.
Can we ask you some questions?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm down for it.
Wow.
What's your cousin's deepest, darkest
Yeah.
secret?
What is it you love about the Stewart character so much? Feel free to be long-winded too.
He's very.
I'll
Yes,
take it. Don't
he
even say it. I'll fill it in with my own imagination.
Yes, he is.
Perfect in all ways. Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much
you.
for taking
Thank
the
you.
time. Thank you.